All right, hey Vikings fans, welcome in to another episode of the Skol Hop. I'm Evan.
I'm Austin.
We're just a couple of dudes from Iowa. We like drinking beer, talking about the Vikings.
Yeah, we do, and we actually have stuff for the Vikings to talk about now since the off-season's pretty much over and the NFL season's starting. We talked about the first two preseason games that have already happened, and you went to one of them.
Yeah, brought my whole family. It was pretty fun. And we also saw a newly acquired Viking go down, probably for the season.
Oof, yeah, that was probably pretty upsetting to see in person. There's been a few injuries that have cropped up. And we're also, a week or so away from official cutdown day, which is pretty exciting.
Yeah, so we talked about a lot of different position groups on the Vikings roster, who might be in, who might be out. It's going to be interesting to see how everything shapes up, so make sure you grab a cold one and join us for episode 101 of the Skol Hop.
Skol.
Skol.
All right, we just want to give a quick shout out to show sponsor Big Top Ventures for sponsoring today's episode. If you are looking to take a trip to an all-inclusive resort in Mexico or Jamaica, go ahead and reach out to our friends at Big Top Ventures and they will hook you up with the best price possible. And I can personally guarantee that because I've used them many times. If you're interested, go ahead and shoot them an email. We'll put it down below here if you're watching the podcast. It is bigtopventuresllc@gmail.com. Again, that's bigtopventuresllc@gmail.com. And let them know you're interested in going, and they will not only get you the best price possible, but get you all the perfect information you need and kind of walk you through the whole process. They're great people over there. So thanks, Big Top.
You're even repping them on your shirts.
I am. It's one of my favorite shirts, so I like it a lot.
I'm actually repping friend of the show right here. I've worn this a few times, but I haven't really talked about it. But,
yeah. Who is it?
His name's Larry.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
It's not his actual name, but that's what I call him.
There's a whole lot of story behind that. Friend of the show, Forrest, now knows that story because we told him on the Brew Hop 2.0, which was last week's episode 100. We traveled around Iowa, hit up 10 breweries. 10 breweries that we did not hit up on Brew Hop 1.0, where I think did we hit 11 on 1.0? So on 3.0 we can't do 9. We have to do at least 10, probably even like 12.
Maybe 10 and a half.
Yeah, 10 and a half. Hit up like a Chuck E. Cheese that sells beer or something. Like
I don't know if that even exists.
Did you not know Chuck E. Cheese? Pretty sure they sell beer.
Really?
Yeah, for the older,
for the adults,
the older people. I was gonna say the older kids, but that felt like a line I probably shouldn't cross. Drink responsibly, folks. Yeah, we are going to drink responsibly.
We are, and I picked the beer tonight.
You did. You picked a yellow and green canned beer.
I know, but I'm excited about this because
this one should be interesting.
Because I think we both like pickles.
Yeah.
And I've never tried a pickle beer before in my life.
I think I've tried definitely one, I think two. But I couldn't tell you who they were from or really if they were that good. But
this is also a new brewery to the show. I don't think we've had a beer from Barntown Brewing, which is in West Des Moines, Iowa.
Okay.
And this is their gluten-free Tickle pickle beer. So we don't really know much else about it other than it's a pickle beer.
Yeah.
And I think we should just crack these open and try it.
Yeah, and there's really not any description on the can at all. There was some discrepancy as we crack these open. Untapped. So the can itself doesn't list the ABV.
It smells like...
Pickly?
It just smells like pickle juice, which is fine with me.
The can doesn't list the ABV. So I looked online. The first thing that came up was Untapped, which I think said like 5.2%. So I double checked, and on Barntown's website, which is what we're going to go with because who would know more than them, they list, 4% for this this pickle beer.
Easy drinking.
And gluten-free. I know that's a big thing for a lot of people. I know a couple people that are gluten intolerant, allergic to gluten, whatever disease that is. I can't remember.
Celiac.
Yeah. But to have a gluten-free beer, that's definitely one thing. This one's going to be a novelty, although it's one of those that if it's good, I could see it sticking around forever. Maybe it has been. I don't know how long they've been making it.
Well, you said on their website they were sold out.
Yeah, that is true.
This one. So it must be pretty popular in the West Des Moines area when people go to the brewery. One other thing I want to point out really quick, just because I think it's pretty cool. On the can itself, you'd only see it if you were watching us on YouTube or Spotify, but with their logo wrap around the aluminum can, they left out this nice little cutout of the state of Iowa, which is pretty cool.
That's cool. I wonder if they do that for all of their cans. That'd be a pretty nice signature thing to do. You sniffed this beer the second you cracked it open and said it was pickle juice.
It's pickly.
I haven't purposely sniffed it, but just having two of them open right now, I can smell the aroma of the pickleness,
and it looks green.
I think I'm excited for it. Oh yeah, we still have a couple of jars of actual pickles here.
Like you can just almost compare the color, and it's almost. I mean, this is darker, obviously, and it has actual pickles in it.
Yeah, but the juice of the pickles, I'm sure I wouldn't crack that open. It's fine. But I'm sure, this looks exactly like pickle juice. It is a green haze to it. I don't know what kind of beer. I'm really belaboring. I'm trying to avoid this a little bit. But it doesn't say, like, Pilsner or anything. I think the only other pickle beer I've had was a sour. But, I don't know what this is. Let's just down the hatch.
Skol. Okay. That's interesting.
I have 3 words. Carbonated pickle juice. That's all I'm getting.
All right. That's fair.
But it's not like... It's interesting. I'm still taking it all in.
It kind of hit the vinegar kind of hits you in the nose a little bit.
A little bit.
But
it's not overpowering.
No.
It's not like we took one sip here 30 seconds ago and already it's like it's out of there. It's not one that just sits in your taste buds forever. I don't know, man. I'm on the fence so far. I'm going to have to give my official opinion once we've finished.
I like it. This is one of those beers that I wouldn't have like all the time, every day, like just have in my fridge. But it is a novelty, and I'm going to enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah. I'm going to withhold until I have better thoughts because I don't really know what I think yet.
Well,
it's not gross. I will say it's not like immediate, like I can't drink the rest of this. I'm going to drink. We have 2 16-ounces between the two of us. But yeah, I want to have a full opinion of it. So later in the episode.
That's fair. Also, to be fair, I have been on the hunt for something that at least one of us doesn't like. So
that's good. We always say,
it's fine.
Yeah, we always say, I don't think we've tried a beer yet through 101 episodes now, or a full 100 episodes. We've had many beers. I don't think we've had one that either one of us was like, no, I'm not doing that anymore. We've definitely had some that we've liked more than others. Maybe I've liked one more than you have and vice versa, but we haven't had one yet. And I'll still say I don't hate this. But it would be interesting to actually give, a negative opinion of a beer that was honest, because we haven't.
Well, you can reserve judgment until the end of the episode. We should also reserve judgment on the Vikings roster until the end of preseason. And there's only one preseason game left. So we're getting down to it. And week 1's not that far away.
So the last time... it's kind of weird. Our last episode was pre-recorded, like a week or 2 before we released it. The last time we actually sat here and talked Vikings was before the first preseason game against the Texans, where JJ looked almost bleh.
Yep.
And the team won. I think Max Brosmer looked pretty good. Sam Howell, I think, if I remember right, kind of came out looking meh as well. But you were in attendance to that Texans game. Tell us about your experience there.
I was, yeah. So My wife and I made the decision to bring our daughters up there. They are 8 and 6 years old, and they've never been to a major sporting event like that. And it was definitely worth it. We paid $10 for the tickets, and I don't know that I told you this. I think I did, but my aunt and uncle rented an apartment up in Bloomington, right by the mall, and they weren't staying there at the time, so they were like, "Well, you guys can just stay at our apartment."
No, you didn't tell me that.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet. So we had free lodging, and they live the apartment they live in is right on the train track.
Oh, that's genius.
So we could ride the train over to the mall, and then we took the train all the way into downtown for the game. So that was a fun experience. The girls really liked that, and riding the train in from like the Mall of America area in Bloomington, it's fun because every stop there's just more and more Vikings people that get on the train. I'd never ridden the train into the stadium. I've either parked nearby or like we stayed at the hotel that one time. So that was a fun experience. Getting into the stadium was interesting. We had not prepared our girls for that, and you have to like go through security first.
Oh, yeah.
And then you also have to scan your tickets and go through the turnstile. And both of those things were just like foreign experiences for them. And my wife had packed their little like belt bag things. Okay. Our youngest has asthma, so she needs an inhaler. And I don't remember what she packed in the other one, but they weren't going to let us in with those bags. And then my wife was like, well, no, this has her inhaler in it. And they're like, oh, it's medical? And so then they had to come over, they had to look through it all, and they had to slap this like, bracelet thing on the bag itself. Oh, so that people inside know that it was searched and whatnot. So that was kind of like alarming for the kids. And then when we got to the turnstile, I told my wife, I was like, I'll scan for you go through, and then we'll send them through. Well, she went through, and then my oldest thought she could just walk through as well, and she got nailed like right in the hip by the metal turnstile, and she didn't like that very much. So it took us a few minutes once we all got in to kind of like gather ourselves. There were a few tears.
Oh, man. Oh, no. So were they ruined for the Vikings?
No.
Okay, that's good.
They recovered, and then they had a pretty good time after that. It was a lot of fun. We had decent seats. I think I told you about the seats. The viewing angle wasn't the greatest. We've definitely had better seats.
Well, you had some like weird glass right in front of you, right? Yep. Had the glass not been there, the viewing would have been way better because the angle was fine. But.
And also, we were right up from one of the landings, so we were up in section 316. So you're like the landing where people come up the stairs and then they round the corner to go up to the final section of seats. They would stand right there, and our seats were right above that. We were 5 rows up, and so I mean, just constantly the whole game there were people coming up and down those stairs, and kind of you're just you're leaning every which way trying to like see around people, see through the glass. But we didn't have a bad experience other than that. Like the people we sat by were pretty nice, and overall good experience. And the Vikings won. It was preseason, so there's not much to talk about. It was fun to watch JJ McCarthy. People were definitely excited to see him. Yeah, for sure. Like the stadium kind of lit up. It was also interesting. I talked to someone else that was there that I know, and they said that usually preseason games aren't that full.
Oh, really?
But they had like 250 little girls do a cheerleader thing during halftime, and the person I talked to was like, each girl must have had like 4 or 5 other people with them which is why the stadium was so full. And I'm like, that makes sense.
But still, you got to think, even if 200, even say 300, and then another 4 or 5 people with them, like that's still, I mean, only a few thousand in a 65,000 seat stadium. Like it probably wouldn't have filled it too much just for that. But I mean, there's some excitement around the team right now. You got JJ, and that was the one preseason game we were pretty sure the coach announced it like the day before. But even before then, we were pretty sure we're probably going to see JJ play some football for the first time. And I think it was exactly like 364 days, so almost a year since we had seen JJ play football. Still haven't seen him play regular season football in the NFL. That'll be exciting to see, hopefully. And it was just, it's the first taste of football we get, the first preseason game. So I'm not surprised it was a little well attended there. So that's good. That's good. And probably it seems like a good idea to bring your young children, to a preseason game.
Yes.
For their first experience. I would think for myself, I brought my kids to their first game experience last year to the first Lions-Vikings game of the season I was going to say at the Metrodome, at US Bank Stadium. And, I was probably more interested in the game and not as interested in my kids as I should have been, but my wife is amazing, and she definitely picked up my slack there. But preseason game, I feel like, and maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like I'd be more apt to be more about the kids and ignore the game if I had to. Who knows? Maybe I wouldn't. I'd still be involved in the game, but
there was definitely less like, okay, I have to sit here and watch. Like I wanted to watch. We'd made the trip to be there and stuff so that we could watch the game. That's the primary reason you go. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't like, oh well, shucks, the kids want ice cream, so we're gonna miss the big Justin Jefferson touchdown that's going to put us up and seal the game or anything like that. There's nothing, I didn't bemoan the fact that we missed anything big. So
that's good.
Yeah, and the tickets were cheap too. I think we got 4 tickets for $40.
That's awesome. You can't beat it.
So
that's crazy.
Yep.
I paid a little bit more than that to bring the
for
family
a regular season
year.
I would imagine so. So all that to say, it was a good game. I think the Vikings struggled more in preseason game number 2 against the Patriots than they did against the Texans. They seemed to handle the Texans pretty well. All of the quarterbacks that played against the Texans looked pretty good. I didn't really get a chance to watch the Patriots game in full. I saw some highlights and some clips and whatnot, but it just looked like the offense struggled. And it looked like, I think at one point, Max Brosmer was in the third quarter. Was
potentially? I didn't get to see all of it either. It wasn't televised in our area.
True.
So we had to.
I did watch it illegally.
Yeah, we had to figure out how to stream the game. And then, of course, highlights afterwards. But
there was one moment in the third quarter where KOC was on the broadcast and he let an F-bomb go.
I saw that.
And I think it was because Brosmer, he did something pre-snap, and KOC just knew it right away and couldn't help but drop the expletive on live television. I think he sent a guy in motion or something, and he wasn't supposed to, or something. I don't know. And then there ended up being a flag on the play.
Yeah,
it was pretty funny.
It up. Yeah, I mean, either way, it doesn't necessarily matter. But it is cool. You kind of brought it up there. KOC for the whole third quarter
was mic'd up on the broadcast with PA.
Mic'd up, talking to PA, talking about the game. It was cool. They kind of do stuff like that all the time, NFL teams. I remember back in the day, Rick Spielman would always come on. I think it was only always the third preseason game, he would come on for a quarter and he'd be in the booth with PA. Rick Spielman being the former GM. But I think last year was the first time we saw it was Justin Jefferson for the whole, third or fourth quarter it was. And, in the preseason, every once in a while you see a quick player interview on the sideline, for maybe a starter that wasn't playing. But I had never seen before that, a player be a part of the broadcast the whole time. And it was cool last year because some crazy awesome stuff happened. JJ was lighting it up during the time, and Justin Jefferson was just super excited. So they did it again this year. And I think they started off with Jefferson, and then they had KOC in the third quarter. And then I think Jonathan Grenard jumped on in the fourth quarter.
I think he did.
Which is really cool. I don't know if a lot of teams are doing that, but it is cool to hear PA call a game. Because we live in Iowa, we don't get that very often. And to see some of the stars of the team a part of that broadcast.
Yeah. So anyways, I think the second game, even defensively, didn't look as good as the first preseason game. Well, that's kind of why I said earlier, we'll reserve judgment about this beer. We need to reserve judgment about this Vikings team until the regular season, because the preseason has been kind of up and down. Now, you're not seeing your first teamers out there really hardly at all. Maybe one series in the first quarter of that first preseason game that I was at, but still, you would expect some of these second and third team guys, maybe some future practice squad guys, would be playing at a higher level because they're around some of the best players in the league. And they struggled.
Yeah, and there's a little grain of salt to that too, because I think both coaching staffs, Vrabel for the Patriots and KOC for the Vikings, they put a lot of credence into the joint practices that they had over the week. And apparently, Vrabel was very unimpressed with his starters because after joint practices, a lot of the starters for the Patriots played for a while in the preseason game. And I think Garrett Bradbury specifically, I saw a few plays where he just got tossed around, which
we're used to seeing.
It's still frustrating. I feel for the guy because I think he's a good dude, and he always flashed a little bit and looked like there's something there, and then he'd get bowled over and tossed around by some 7th round or undrafted rookie, So there was that, but I would have been concerned specifically to be a Patriots fan to have those guys play because of injury, because you're seeing some injuries pop up in preseason already. The Vikings they haven't officially announced Rondale Moore's specific injury that I can see.
I think they did announce that he's out for the season, though.
Yeah, and
which it took him a while to get to that point.
He's on injured reserve. He's definitely out for the season. But all they've said is that it's a knee injury. And I watched one press conference a few days ago that somebody asked KOC exactly like, hey, what was it his ACL? Was it his, what was exactly his injury? And I think KOC said something to the tune of like, it was just his knee and he's going to be out for the year. Like, he didn't even say, which I don't know if they have to say at this point, like, it's enough to say, yeah, he's out for the year. But aside from Rondale Moore, the Vikings have had a couple other injuries.
Yeah, and I think Rondale Moore's kind of minor compared to some of these other ones. Josh Metellus went down in practice he was grabbing his shoulder.
It sounded like today the Vikings were saying Metellus is going to be fine. He's going to be okay. Yeah. Still coming back, and like if there were a game tomorrow, he probably wouldn't play, but he might not miss any time or little time, if at all. And
then Justin Jefferson, it sounds like he's going to come back to practice.
Yeah, he was there today. I saw. They practiced today. He was out there for a little bit, not the full practice, but he was out moving around, which is good to see.
Yep.
We got some flack on Twitter because, somebody tweeted a quick 3-second video of Justin Jefferson in practice last week, like catching a ball and like juking and twirling around, and their tweet was like, yeah, I think we don't have to worry, guys, like Justin's going to be just fine. And I quote tweeted that and said, like, I think this kind of leads me to think maybe this time being out might have something to do with his contract and less to do with his hamstring. And people hated that take. Sorry, guys. Apparently I'm an idiot. We did get one death threat because I maybe thought that a highly talented player might want a little bit more money. I truly don't think that's 100% the case, but you can never rule that out when it comes to these highly talented guys.
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong.
I mean, I would say it's a very low likelihood that he's looking for more money. He's got one of the highest contracts in the league right now, like one of the top, I don't know what it is, at least the top 5 non-quarterback contracts in the league right now. So he's doing fine, but when the guy's out for a long time like he has been, you got to at least question things, right? I don't think it's crazy to question it.
Well, I think more concerning for me is now Jalen Naylor has a hand injury, and we know that Jordan Addison's going to be out for 3 weeks. The wide receiver room is looking pretty thin for a little bit here. And if the Vikings don't do something about it, the group that I think we thought was going to be pretty solid and we wouldn't have to worry about anything. Now you've got Justin Jefferson, who is coming off of a hamstring injury. You've got Jordan Addison suspended for 3 games. You've got Jalen Naylor probably out with a hand injury indefinitely. And who do you have after that? You have not a whole lot. You got Lucky Jackson, you got Thayer Thomas, you got There's a couple of Joneses, Ja'Shawn Jones, and
let's see. We'll get the actual roster.
There's
up.
another Jones in there.
So, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, there you go. Jalen Naylor, and then Lucky Jackson, Ty Felton, rookie.
I forgot about him.
Ja'Shawn Jones, who he was one of those. I think he was a UDFA last year, but he was one that was like, hey, the Vikings gave him one of the highest guarantees of any UDFA across the league. So they obviously saw something in him last year. Miles Price, who he caught Brosmer's touchdown in the Patriots game, or was that that was the Texans game.
They didn't have a touchdown in the Patriots game, so it was in the Texans game.
Yep. Thayer Thomas, Dante Fleming, Tim Jones, who's been wearing 14 and kind of making me take a double look here, even though Stephon Diggs has been gone for a long time. Robert Lewis, and then Silas Bolden, who Silas Bolden was more of a returner in college, but still flashed a little bit. So there's some bodies in that room. It's just a lot of unproven names nobody's really ever heard of, and some concern if Jefferson, Addison, and Naylor are all out for 1, 2 to 4 weeks, however long it'll be. I think it wouldn't be the worst idea to add to that room. Obviously a lot of Vikings fans like ourselves are saying like, oh, Adam Thielen, he'd be fun for one more season. There's Amari Cooper out there. There's a lot of receivers that could be available. I think people were saying even the Patriots might have a couple guys that might be available during cut time or at a very cheap trade during that time. I think that list of names that I just read off will not be the same list of names the Vikings come out maybe week 1, definitely not week 2. It's something they should keep an eye at.
Yeah, it's starting to grow concerning for the Vikings if they don't do something soon.
Yeah. Hopefully they do. I guess that's all we can say.
Yeah. So let's play a little game. Who of those receivers makes the 53-man roster? Obviously, Addison and Jefferson, probably Jalen Naylor.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
who else?
Let's see here. I think as far as making the roster, there's no concern. Jefferson, Addison, Jalen Naylor, they're your 3.
And I think Lucky Jackson is currently listed as the first-string punt returner.
Oh, is he?
Kick or punt. And I think Ty Felton is the other one.
Yep, you're right. Ty Felton, kick return, Lucky Jackson, punt return. I think it's Jefferson, Addison, Naylor, Lucky Jackson, and Ty Felton, and that could be it. Now, you're going to have more than that because Addison's already suspended the first 3 games. The way their depth chart is right now, that puts Ja'Shawn Jones in there, and that's if they only keep 5. But then you have Miles Price, Thayer Thomas. I mean, everybody we just listed off here a minute ago. But yeah, I think that leaves Silas Bolden, Robert Lewis, Dante Fleming, and Tim Jones out for sure. And then maybe it's Miles Price and Thayer Thomas looking for the same spot if they keep 6. Which maybe they put more stock into the tight end position and see that as a supplement to the wide receiver position.
Yeah, I saw something that seemed pretty smart to me today, though, that said... it was a tweet by somebody, and I won't be able to give credit to whoever it was because I don't remember, but they said something about pigeonholing ourselves in these 2 tight end sets. Like, we don't want to, with Addison's absence, we don't want to become so predictable to opposing defenses that they just know, like, oh, TJ Hawkinson and Josh Oliver are in the game. I wonder what they're going to do.
Yeah, exactly.
So the more options we can have, the better. The more weapons you can have offensively. And I think it will only help J.J. McCarthy to have all of those things at his disposal and have, multiple reads that he can make.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And I watched another really good video of him. Again, don't remember who it was. But they broke down his first, second, third, and fourth reads, and it was Addison coming across on a cross-ring route as the fourth read, and he made the comment, the guy making the video made the comment, like, that was actually like a really, really good patient play for a young quarterback to make, because a lot of times they'll try to force it to the first or second read and then panic when those aren't available. And he waited and waited, stood firm in the pocket. He had good protection in front of him, and then he whipped a nice ball to Addison, and I think they got a first down. So anyways, all that to say, the more weapons the better, and I don't know that I trust many of those other guys that are lower on the depth chart to step up and help out in Addison's absence for sure. And who knows, like, I hope this doesn't happen, but Justin Jefferson could come out and take one wrong step in pregame warmups Monday night against the Bears, and now we're down 2 star receivers.
Exactly. Well, I think that's what they're trying to avoid by having him sit out with this hamstring tightness so much. Is obviously Justin Jefferson does not need the preseason. Yeah, you take all the reps you can with your quarterback, with the team, but he's gonna be fine. Like it's not like we've ever heard any concerns about like his conditioning or his knowledge of the playbook. We've only ever heard great things about him. So to have him miss all of preseason doesn't seem that concerning. I think it was just a week or two ago they were saying like Jalen Naylor was at practice with a red jersey on, like, and it was more that like, hey, Jalen's fine, but we kind of can't have too many more blows at that wide receiver position. So that lets me know right there that obviously, like, we're not going to see something that the coaches don't already know, but that they're actually taking some measures. And if they're doing that, then they're scouring the waiver wire when these cuts happen, and they've probably already had countless meetings about like who's out there, who's available, what are the options. When it comes to Kwesi and KOC, they've got a lot of leeway in my book, and whatever they do or don't do, if they don't add anyone else, that tells me, holy cow, Thayer Thomas is really good and they trust him, or any of those other guys. Like, if they trust Miles Price or Dante Fleming, like, who am I to say they're wrong? Until we start seeing drops or obvious wrong routes or just not chemistry between JJ McCarthy and these other guys, like, we can be concerned as fans, but let's just wait and see what happens on the field.
So another thing that I think a lot of Vikings fans are keeping an eye on is the quarterback room and how that's shaping up. Now, what's interesting is a lot of teams, like I know the Browns today came out and said Joe Flacco will be the week 1 starter. There's another team that came out and said it was whatever team that one was that I saw was like super obvious. It's like, duh. The Browns one was interesting because that Browns QB room has been kind of a circus all off season long.
Oh, for a couple of years now, ever since they brought in Watson. But yeah, it's been kind of crazy.
So anyways, I think we as Vikings fans know, like, JJ McCarthy will be the week 1 starter Monday night against the Bears, but the QB2 spot I think is still very much open, and there's also that emergency QB3 that I would expect KOC to want to use a roster spot for. Well,
that emergency QB3, I think that's one that...
It doesn't count towards the 53, does it?
But that's because they're on the practice squad. So you still have to... So if the idea is to get Max Brosmer or even Brett Rippon, and to get one of those guys to be that QB3 to suit up, even though they don't count against the 46-man suiting up for the games, they still have to be on the practice squad. They're not just like a freebie, and that means that you have to cut them at cutdown time, and they have to make it through all of the other teams. And I think there's a little bit of the aspect that Vikings fans are too close to it right now, but count me as one of them. I think Max Brosmer is looking pretty good.
Yeah.
Now, granted, we have to say this. When he's been in the preseason games, 2 of them so far, and he's flashed, it has been against guys that will be cut. These late round draft picks, these guys that are fighting for their NFL lives, and they're just not as good as NFL starters. So if Brosmer is decent at all, then of course he's going to flash a little bit. But he's been flashing quite a bit. So Vikings fans like me, and maybe you too, you can correct me if I'm wrong, are seeing him flash, and it's like, oh, well, Sam Howell, if he's not good, then we need to keep Brosmer, and if we're going to keep him, we can't get him onto the practice squad. Somebody's going to pick him up, so we need to have him as QB2. What are your thoughts?
Well, I'm still undecided, and I'm starting to form an opinion on the beer here, and I'll tell you about that.
I have my opinion on the beer.
But I think when it comes to QB2, QB3, I think your options are Howell and Brosmer. I think Brett Rippon is the odd man out. I don't think he makes the Vikings roster. That's going to be my hot take. But I think at this point it's kind of a toss-up between Howell and Brosmer. Sam Howell has starting experience in the NFL, right? Like, he's led an NFL offense, and I think he's won a few games. I don't think he's won a ton of games.
Yeah, he was kind of on fire a little bit for the Commanders. Yeah,
he played well, and that matters, right? Like, when the lights are bright and J.J. McCarthy's out for hopefully not more than 1 or 2 plays, and you need somebody to go in, it's kind of nice to have somebody that has that experience, right? That's why we liked Nick Mullins so much. He had that experience.
Yeah, all he did was come in and on a 3rd and 24 and throw for 25 yards or an interception.
Yeah, well, you take the good with the bad with him. But anyways, yeah, I think it's still a toss-up at this point for me. If I had to make a decision right now, I do think Brosmer's played well enough to make the team, but I think he's the 3rd-string practice squad guy.
Okay.
I think Howell gets the nod at QB2.
Okay.
That's going to be my prediction currently.
That's a tough opinion to negate. Now, obviously, we can say, did you see those passes that the NFL retweeted for Max Brosmer? He had that one where he just, dropped it in the basket perfectly. Now, I will say that one that he dropped in the basket perfectly right over the defender, he had been hit while he was throwing the ball, so it was affected. But yeah, I think he's looked pretty good. I agree with you, though. I think Sam Howell is QB2. They made the move for him in the offseason. Sam Howell hasn't had a lot of time where he gets to be just the next guy. Like, when he's had a lot of pressure on him, he's been the starter, and there's been a lot of pressure being a starting quarterback in the NFL. Last year, he was with the Seahawks, and they had Geno Smith, so obviously he wasn't the starter there. But give Sam Howell a year, and who knows, maybe a year from now, we're talking about how Sam Howell for, I don't know, the Browns he's had this 1 year with Kevin O'Connell, and he might be the next Sam Darnold, stuff like that. But yeah, I think it is J.J. McCarthy, Sam Howell, and then hopefully they find a way to keep Brosmer, because Sam Howell probably won't be your Vikings QB2 for the next decade, but somebody like Brosmer could be.
Yep. And I think you're right. Vikings fans might be a little too close to it, especially your Vikings fans from Minnesota, because he's a Minnesota grad, and they watched him play in college, and now he's kind of the local kid. I don't think he's from Minnesota. Maybe he is. I don't know.
I don't think he is either. He was only at the U for 1 season.
True. But he played pretty well for the Gophers.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he did fine. But yeah, I would like to see him continue to be a Viking, but what? There's no way. Okay, so I just looked up Max Brosmer.
I'm reading the same thing you are.
Did you see that?
Yeah, he's from the Quad Cities.
It says he was born in Davenport, Iowa, which is 2 miles that way. His high school is not Davenport. He went to a Georgia high school. He moved to Roswell, Georgia in middle school, according to Wikipedia. Well, we will do some research to see if that's right. You know what? Everything I just said, forget it. I want Brosmer to be... Screw it. QB1, let's go. But I did look him up to see where he played at school. It was New Hampshire for 5 seasons. And then Minnesota for one season. One of those 5 seasons at New Hampshire, 2021, was a medical redshirt. So, yeah, he I guess he played. I thought he bounced around a little bit more than that, but it was just 2 colleges and finished off at Minnesota and didn't look horrible.
Dustin Baker even wrote an article about him back in April and said he was born in Davenport.
Well, and he may, not to discredit Dustin at all, he is our news source for the Vikings, but he may have been looking at what I'm looking at here too.
I guess that's the point I'm trying to make. If Dustin's writing it and feels comfortable writing it, he must feel comfortable enough with what Wikipedia says that it's accurate.
That's interesting. So, I wonder if there are any Brosmers within a few miles of us right now that are really rooting hard for the Vikings because of him. That'd be pretty cool.
If you're out there listening, like and subscribe. Let us know if you want to come on the show.
Yeah, exactly.
Talk about Max.
Maybe we could, there might be something there. Let's try to work. Max Brosmer, come on the Skol Hop. We'd love to talk to you, even for a couple of minutes. But yeah, so moving on a little bit from the quarterback, even though I just got silent there for 10 seconds because I didn't expect to see Davenport, Iowa written down. Question for you that you are not prepared for, so it's okay. But you can ask me the same question, and I'm just as prepared as you are. We talked about the 53. We looked at the wide receiver position in QB2. Throughout the whole team, every year for every team, it seems to be at least one guy that's a surprise cut. Can you think of, or do you think the Vikings have a surprise cut this year? And if they have one, who do you think it is?
I'm going to have to think about that for a second. Surprise cut. While I'm looking at the list, let me just tell you, I don't think I can finish this beer.
We got to finish it, dude. I was going to say you drank more than I have.
I haven't even opened the second one yet.
Dude, we got it. We got to...
It's giving me a headache.
Oh, I think you're just...
like the vinegar in it it's strong.
Get some water. Here, drink some actual pickle juice.
I don't think that will help.
So I guess I put you on the spot. I'm going to go with my surprise cut.
Okay.
I think... I'm not necessarily predicting this, but I think if I had to guess a surprise cut, I'd say Blake Brandel.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what it would do money-wise. I know he just signed a decent little deal for a mid-starter level, maybe almost starter level money before the season last year. So I don't know how much it would save, if anything at all. It might cost money, but... with the state of the offensive line the way it is right now, specifically the guards, they just spent $88 million on Will Fries, spent a first-round draft pick on Donovan Jackson, and on top of that, the game you went to against the Texans, backup guard Joe Huber had like a 93 PFF rating.
Wow.
Yeah. Or 90-something PFF rating. And all we've been hearing about Joe Huber is that he's kind of a monster, and he's been playing pretty well. I think that might be enough to be like, you know what? We got to move on. Obviously, Brandel was a borderline starter-level player, but he was on that offensive line last year, and it wasn't all, butterflies and rainbows for him. So
yeah,
he played okay, but not great. And... if he can find another opportunity elsewhere and maybe, again, I don't know exactly how it breaks down money-wise, but maybe free up some cap, I think you roll with Joe Huber instead of Blake Brandel.
Interesting choice. I'm going to go about somebody that we were talking about before we started recording. I don't think we've talked about him since we hit the record button, though. And that's the running back, Ty Chandler.
Okay.
I really don't know that he makes the team. We've seen, obviously, Aaron Jones is kind of the proverbial RB1, and then they went out and made the move to bring in Jordan Mason from the Niners to really solidify your kind of stereotypical 1-2 punch that you kind of have to have in the league nowadays if you want to have an effective run game, and you have the line to block for him. Ty Chandler was then sitting kind of in the third string position after Jordan Mason was signed. Well, I said this a while back, maybe just to you, or maybe while we were recording, I can't remember, but I said the Vikings always seem to have a running back that has a Z or an X or something like that in their name, and they flash during preseason. Like, they come out and they do something amazing. And this year it's been Xavier Scott.
Yeah.
That has been playing well. And then the Vikings also just picked up another running back today, Xavier Valade.
Yeah, which I don't know if that's how you say his first name. Xavian. But yeah, I had never, I'd probably heard his name just because I follow football, but I had never knowingly heard his name before today. I don't know. I don't know anything about him. I did see one tweet, and again, I don't remember who it was from, that said, maybe they're just looking at him for the gadget ability, less so specifically as a running back. Another tweet I saw said something like, hey, maybe Xavier Scott.
Xavier Scott.
Yeah, Xavier Scott doesn't even play because he's already locked up, theoretically, a roster spot. So they're trying to just get bodies out there instead of getting backup guys hurt. I don't know. There's a lot of speculations. It could just be Kwesi knows his agent and is throwing the guy a bone. I have no idea. But yeah, it is a signing on a position that you wouldn't think they need to sign people.
And it doesn't look like I don't think he's ever played an NFL snap.
Oh, really? Okay.
At least in the regular season, maybe in the preseason. But if I had to guess right now, the running back room is Jones, Mason, and Scott. I think those are your three. You roll with those three. You also have the added luxury of a fullback in CJ Ham, that some teams don't even carry a fullback anymore. Yeah. So he's another running back that...
Well, he joined the Vikings as a running back.
Yep.
Fun fact, CJ Ham was officially elevated to the 53-man roster, I think as a correlating move to where the Vikings... put Adrian Peterson on the commissioner's exempt list back when Adrian Peterson had that
child abuse scandal. Yeah.
So I think that was his initial foot in the door transaction. I might be wrong on that, but I think that's how it went down. And he hasn't left the team yet.
Yeah. Well, he's a captain, I think, and he's kind of your consummate team guy. He's one of the leaders in the locker room. And
Not to totally shift the entire conversation, but if you are a longtime Skol Hop listener, maybe one of you out there, you might remember one of the first episodes we had a similar question of, do we have a surprise cut?
He was one of them.
He was the one that Evan said CJ Ham might get cut before the season started, and that was before the 2023 season. So CJ, he won't go away. He shouldn't go away. But you're right, to bring it back full circle, he does add some beef to that running back room, to where Jordan Mason, Aaron Jones, and Xavier Scott are all you need. Or Ty Chandler. It's not a given that Xavier Scott will beat out Ty Chandler, but I think it might be a given.
It's getting there if it's not. So, well, I think we start to wind things down here. We've got one more preseason game left. Do you think the coaches have seen all that they really need to see? Do you think there's anything else that they're hoping to see when the Vikings, where do they go to? They travel somewhere.
That's a good question. I do think this final preseason game is going to be exclusive to Prime.
Tennessee.
Amazon Prime, I think. And it's in Tennessee, or in Nashville. I think the only major question marks at starting positions the coaches might have really is like the punt returner and the kick returner. I think they were really putting a lot of hope into Rondell Moore, and then the room behind him, but I think he was going to get the first right of refusal for all of these return positions, and now he's out. On their official depth chart right now, it lists Ty Felton as the starting kick returner with Ty Chandler behind him. And then punt return, it lists Lucky Jackson, Silas Bolden, and then Miles Price. I don't really know. Was it Ty Felton that fumbled a kickoff against the Patriots.
Yeah, but he recovered it quickly.
I think it got recovered. I don't know if he recovered, but either way, you can't. That's a bad look to fumble maybe your first opportunity.
They did spend a draft pick on him, so I don't see them keeping him around a little bit longer.
Yeah, he was a second pick they had in the third. He was a third-round pick, but it was the second choice they made. I don't think Ty Felton's going to get cut. I just don't think he's going to be the returner, and maybe he'll be the de facto returner until something else better comes along. I think that might be a factor in whoever they potentially look to bring in at the wide receiver position. If they can bring in a guy that also has return ability, that would be a major plus. But yeah, as far as like preseason games, I think they're still going to use this third preseason game to really flesh out who can return these kicks and punts, because that could be devastating in any game to have a turnover off of a muffed punt return or fumble or kick return. So yeah, that's my biggest question is who's going to be returning kicks.
Yeah, and I think they're going to try to squeeze a little bit more out of those quarterbacks too. And maybe whoever starts this game is QB3, because, we were talking Brosmer and Sam Howell. Maybe similar to something you said a little bit ago, in the interest of keeping them healthy and ready to go for week 1, they don't play whoever QB2 is at all.
Yeah.
And it's just QB3 and Rippin. Not to dump on Rippin, but or maybe it's one of those two, Howell and Brosmer and Rippin, because I think Rippin, like I said earlier, is the odd man out in my opinion. Yeah,
I think it'll be telling. I agree with you. I think whoever starts, if Sam Howell starts, that almost tells me Brosmer might have the second job, and now they're going to use this game. I think this game is going to be mostly played by QB3 and QB4, and whoever starts the game is who they look at as QB3, unless they do something where whoever starts it is really only going to play a series or two, kind of like JJ did in the first game.
First one,
and that guy is QB2, and then who they view as QB3 takes over, whether that's Rippin or Brosmer, or really I guess Howell even. I think it would be a major leap to see Brosmer as QB2 already. I think he's worked his way from, I think I said it a few weeks ago, he's just a camp arm. He's just, they always keep 4, and it's always so that they don't completely ruin somebody's arm just throwing all the balls in camp. You got to have that fourth quarterback to throw to everybody. But he's worked his way up from that to potential, he might be on the team. He might be QB2. But yeah, I think, like you said, whoever starts it is probably QB3, and then QB4 will take the second half, and they'll battle it out from there.
Well, it'll be interesting. And then we've got a week or two to wait before week 1. It's not like we go right into week 1. I think we've got a little bit of time. So yeah, 1, 2, 3 weeks from today is the Monday night game at Chicago. So after the preseason game this Friday, they'll still have a solid 2 weeks before they play again. Yeah,
September 8th. We're recording August 18th right now. So yeah, it'll be, 2 weeks, almost 2 full weeks between the third preseason game and the first game of the season. When is Cut Down Day? I think, is it right after, like the day after these third preseason games?
I put it in our calendar here. I believe it is Tuesday the 26th, August 26th. So, what's today? The 18th?
Yeah, basically.
A week from tomorrow.
Yeah, if you're listening to this, probably the day it comes out, a week from today then. It'll be interesting. This Vikings team will look way different 8 days from now, and even again 9 days from now, because there's always some more shuffling for these teams, after the first day of cutdowns. It takes a couple of days for the whole rosters to settle down, but they don't wait too long because they want to have everything settled by week 1. It's exciting. Training camp is basically done. NFL season is here. We can basically say it's here. We're speculating on things that are happening currently in football, which is super exciting. I'm really happy about it.
And we've got to finalize one more thing, kind of like the Vikings need to finalize their 53-man roster. We've got to finalize our list of purple punishments.
Yeah, we do.
And this is another one of those things where, like the brew hop last year, we did it last year, we did it again this year. We did the purple punishments last year. We're bringing them back this year, but we want to make them bigger and better. So I figured we could maybe just list out a few of the ideas we have here. But listeners, if you've got any ideas, we would love to hear those as well. So drop a comment, drop us a line in an email, send a carrier pigeon, do whatever you have to do. But we want to hear your suggestions. We try to keep them things that we can keep, like a jar of pickles. These don't expire until January.
Oh,
so we could keep this one on the list. But the purple punishment that we never actually landed on last year, which is why we still have 2 unopened jars of pickles, was to consume an entire jar of pickles, juice and all. Which, fun fact, was something we did when we were kids.
Yeah. At least once in a competition, yeah.
What else do we have here? We have wax and armpit.
Yeah, we did a wax a limb last year, and I think we both chose our calves.
Yep, the leg.
But this year it's going to be specifically armpit, so just kind of raise the stakes there. That's almost a punishment for both of us, because whoever isn't being waxed has to probably do the waxing. So good luck, man. I'm a very moist person.
Last year we wore socks on our hands for an entire episode. Yeah. So we changed it up and maybe like either winter gloves or oven mitts. So
I think oven mitts would be more fun.
For sure.
Maybe. Although they'll have like a thumb to it, which the socks was interesting because they were almost slippery. But yeah, I think it's, the oven mitts for sure.
Last year, I had to win an eBay auction.
Yeah.
But we had no other rules other than I just had to win one. So I think I found like a really cheapo, it might even be in this drawer somewhere, cheapo, like 99-cent Jordan Addison card. And I won it and bought it. And but this year...
You did receive it, right?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, it's around here somewhere. I don't know where it is. But this year, we're adding the stipulation that you have to win by the margin of victory or loss. So if the Vikings win, it's whatever they win by. So if they win by 3, you have to buy something for $3.
At least $3.
At least $3. Or if they lose by 20, you got to buy something that's at least $20.
Yep.
I don't know. What else do we got on here?
We do have wear a Bears jersey, wear a Lions jersey, and wear a Packers jersey. And those have all been acquired, unfortunately. So we might also couple that with burn a
post episode in the backyard.
Yep. Although I can say we have the Lions one already, which the Lions are awful. Their fans are the worst. But the jersey we got was a TJ Hawkinson jersey, so that's
pretty cool.
We probably shouldn't burn that one.
Probably not.
The Packers one was an Eddie Lacy jersey. We can burn that one.
Sure.
And the Bears one was a Justin Fields jersey that has a bunch of stains on it. It was $1 on eBay. So we can probably burn that one too, unless friend of the show, Forrest, wants it. So we've got some good ones. I don't think we need to spoil all the ones we have right now. But if you can think of anything good that we wouldn't veto immediately and something we could just be prepared for, because a lot of these we won't know what we're doing until like right before we do it. We'll spin the wheel, it'll land on wear oven mitts, and then we'll put on the oven mitts. Or I think last year you wore the sleep mask the whole time.
Yes, I did.
So it'll be fun like that. But yeah, if you have any ideas, let us know. I think the Mainstream guys, when I was on their show last year, they had some good ideas for us, and they weren't the nicest ideas, but they were good ideas. They would have been funny.
Well, if you've got any, send them our way. We'll hopefully get that list finalized and get that ready to go and have it ready for week 1.
Absolutely. All right, so you kind of hinted, you absolutely said your thoughts on this beer. What do you think about the Pickle Tickle from Barntown Brewing?
I cannot finish it. I stopped drinking it a while ago, actually. I gave it the old college try.
Yeah.
At first, I was like, okay, I like pickle juice.
Yeah.
This is good. I All right. And it never grew on me. It only got worse as we went along. And obviously it's not as cold as it was when we first cracked it.
That's your own fault.
I don't know. It's not a bad beer. I'm going to say that.
Okay.
It's not bad. Barntown, I'm sure you make other beers that are better. And it's not that this is bad. It's just that I just can't do it. And I'm shocked that I feel that way.
Yeah.
Because I love pickles.
Do you think it'd be different if this wasn't carbonated? Everything was the same. It just wasn't carbonated?
Maybe, but I don't know. It just doesn't do it for me.
All right. Well, I think we flipped a little bit.
Yeah, which that's also surprising.
Yeah. First sip, I think you were on board.
Yeah. Oh, I was
jumping
like,
for joy.
This is good.
And first sip, I was very concerned. So I will agree. Barntown, I'm very excited to have more of your beers. Unfortunately, I don't think I will have any more of the Pickle Tickle. It's fine. If you are a person that really enjoys pickles and really like regularly as a beverage drinks pickle juice, this might be the beer for you. Maybe I could see this being a decent one, like straight off the lawnmower. If you just want one, maybe this is what you go for. It's not a heavy, thick beer. It's light. I can definitely understand why a large amount of people enjoy this beer. It's not necessarily for me. I did crack my second one. We got a 4-pack. I cracked the second one. I will finish it. But that might be the last Pickle Tickle, or even just last pickle beer in general that I have, because it's just not my jam.
Not mine either. And again, we will be trying other Barntown beers for sure.
I think I have noticed, and maybe you said this earlier, our favorite Hy-Vee seems to have gotten a plethora of Barntown beers recently.
Yep.
So we will have we have a lot of choices that we can go for. And I'll even say it. Are you good with me committing to having a Barntown beer next week?
Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely.
I will bring it. It will be my turn, and I will get one. Maybe not even just like, maybe I'll just still try to find a fun one. Just maybe not like a spicy one or a pickle one. And I think they have a spicy pickle.
They have a spicy pickle.
Which is funny because I love spicy food. Food cannot be too spicy for me. I can't do spicy beverages.
Really?
Yeah, it doesn't work for me. But yeah, next week we'll try a different Barntown. Can you do spicy?
No, I don't. Well, I don't do spicy at all. Like, eat something spicy, will probably be on the purple punishments wheel again, and I'm terrified of that. Don't want to do it. But spicy mango cart
Interesting.
is actually not bad.
Is that a Toppling Goliath one?
No, mango cart is Golden Road Brewing, California.
Okay.
Anyways, I like mango cart. My wife likes it too, and spicy mango cart. They used to make, I don't know if they make them anymore, but these combo 12 packs of different mango carts. The regular one, and then they had like 2 or 3 other variations, and the spicy one wasn't bad.
Interesting.
It wasn't like overly spicy.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of fire to it, but not anything crazy.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, friend of the show Forrest has tried to get me to enjoy spicy beers a handful of times, and even though there is no hot wing too hot for me, and yes, I would take that challenge, but yeah, I just don't like a spicy beverage, so the spicy pickle would not work for me. But yeah, we will definitely do a different Barntown brew next week, and probably enjoy it, because I've never heard anything bad about Barntown.
Yeah. Well, I think we wrap this up, and if you want to take another pickle beer home,
I don't know. I don't think I can do it, man.
Maybe I'll see if my wife wants to try it.
Yeah.
But good brewery.
Great brewery.
Not my favorite beer.
I'm glad we tried it.
But great conversation, though.
Yeah.
Felt like we covered a lot of bases tonight.
Yeah. One base we haven't covered for a while is letting people know where to find us at the end of the episodes. So we're on all the socials at the Skol Hop, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. technically blue sky, even though that's kind of been an abandoned one for us in recent months. YouTube for sure. If you're watching us on YouTube, hit a like. Don't forget to subscribe. You can also watch on Spotify. But if you're just into the audio, we're everywhere podcasts exist. So hit us up there. Give us a good rating if you enjoy it. If you don't like us, tell us why. Maybe don't give us a rating, but tell us why. Maybe we can take that criticism. But yeah, reach out. Email address is theskolhop@gmail.com. And the offer still stands. If you send us an email and you want it, we will send you a Skol Hop sticker.
We have some still.
Yep.
They're ready to go.
All right. Well, I'm glad we tried it. We did what I tell my kids to do all the time. Just give it a chance.
Yep.
Barntown will give you another chance next week. But until then, best episode yet?
I would say so.
Skol.
Skol.